There is one truth our minds never question, one law we assume is unbreakable, one river we believe can never be dammed: time. It moves forward without pause, without mercy, without negotiation, or so we thought. But in recent years, and more shockingly in the last few months, physicists, astronomers, and AI-based reality modeling systems have started reporting something almost unthinkable. Time is not behaving the way it used to. Not everywhere, not for everyone, and not all the time. This documentary is not about science fiction. It is about a strange pattern, faint, scattered, but undeniably there, emerging from observatories, deep space probes, and even brain scan experiments. A pattern suggesting that under certain conditions, time doesn't flow. It hesitates, it stutters, it trembles, and sometimes it stops. To understand this, we travel back, not in time, but in thought, to a place where physics, consciousness, and ancient wisdom collide. Modern physics tells us time began at the Big Bang. Ancient civilizations, from the Mayans to the Vedic astronomers, believed something else. Time is a fabric, a field, a dimension woven with intention. And now, for the first time, advanced AI models trained on cosmic background radiation, pulsar timing arrays, and quantum vacuum fluctuations have started detecting anomalies. Small pockets where the ticks of time's cosmic clock do not match the rest of the universe. Imagine opening your eyes and seeing a bird frozen mid-flight, a drop of water suspended in air, a person mid-blink. Not in video, not in imagination, but in reality. Reports like these were dismissed for decades as hallucinations or perception errors. Yet now, when AI systems running on exaflop-scale processors pick up the same anomalies in deep space data, scientists can no longer laugh. In 2025, the Lagrange data array recorded something that shook every researcher in the room. A region near the Perseus filament where time moved 0.004% slower than everywhere else, for exactly 47 seconds, then snapped back. No star exploded, no black hole was involved, no gravitational tide was detected. It was as if reality installed. But here is the part almost no one outside key research groups knows. At the exact same minute, halfway across the world, a patient undergoing a neural synchronization scan reported that everything paused for a moment, like reality forgot to breathe. Two events: a galaxy away and a human mind on Earth. Connected or coincidence? This is where our journey begins. If time could pause for a galaxy or a human mind, then surely it could happen elsewhere. And it does, just not where you would expect. For decades, small pockets of the world have been known for unusual temporal sensations. Not supernatural, just strange. Airplane pilots report sudden seconds of blankness near the poles. Mountain climbers speak of moments when the wind stops but nothing else moves. And deep-sea divers mention the eerie sensation that a minute has stretched into 5. These were always dismissed as biology reacting to stress. But once AI models began detecting micro-stutters in cosmic time signatures, researchers revisited these reports, this time comparing them with seismic, atmospheric, and electromagnetic data from the same moments. What they found was startling. Time does not always flow smoothly. Sometimes it trembles, sometimes it stretches, sometimes it waits. These fluctuations are tiny, too small for machines, but just enough for human perception to catch. The human brain, after all, is not simply a biological organ. It is a quantum observer, constantly tracking reality, as some researchers now describe it. Here is where the real mystery begins. In regions with the strongest gravitational balance, not strong, not weak, time behaves strangely. Not near black holes, not near neutron stars, but in the quiet places, the stable places, the places where the universe is calm. Across simulations run by the Soliton AI Observatory, one pattern becomes clear. When cosmic forces reach perfect equilibrium, time loses its direction. Matter does not pull, space does not bend, gravity does not lean, everything becomes still. Even the laws of entropy, the principle that everything must move toward disorder, show temporary hesitation. This is scientifically impossible, and yet it happens. One researcher described it beautifully. It's like the universe pauses to take a breath before continuing the performance. Others believe time stutters because the universe is recalibrating itself, like a computer refreshing its memory. But there is a third possibility. the one quietly discussed in private forums among physicists, cosmologists, and theoretical neuroscientists. Time is not a river. It is a choice, and occasionally, that choice gets rewritten. The more scientists investigate these anomalies, the more they realize they are not random. They appear in patterns, sequences, rhythms, almost as if they are messages, not from someone else, but from the universe itself. By the time researchers mapped over 3,000 micro-anomalies, tiny tremors in time itself, a strange pattern emerged. Not a map, not a scatter, not random noise, but a constellation. Every point where time hesitated, aligned. Not geographically, not magnetically, not even according to tectonic plates. Instead, they formed a precise three-dimensional structure when plotted in spacetime. A geometric lattice so complex that no human mind could have guessed it. A lattice the AI named the Temporal Bloom. At first glance, it resembled a flower made of light, thousands of points woven into layered symmetry. But deeper analysis revealed something far more unsettling. The bloom was not expanding. It was rotating slowly, perfectly mathematically, like gears in a clock. Each time anomaly was a tooth on that gear, a marker, a signal, a pulse. And every pulse matched the same direction of rotation, clockwise, always clockwise. This shocked researchers because clockwise is not a cosmic direction, it is a human concept. The universe should have no preference, and unless something gave it one. When the AI simulated the bloom at full scale, stretching it across the entire observable universe, the rotation did something impossible. It pointed. Not randomly, not vaguely. It pointed to a set of coordinates outside the Milky Way, a region of space with no planets, no stars, no energy signatures, a perfect cosmic silence. For days, astronomers dismissed it as coincidence, but then someone noticed something chilling. When you reverse the bloom's rotation, playing it backward, the coordinates shift slightly each time. Plotting all the reversed positions created a perfect inward spiral, leading not to space, but to a moment, a timestamp, a date. Not billions of years ago, not in the far future, just 27 years from now. Researchers double-checked the numbers, then triple-checked them. Every computation, quantum, classical, and neural, gave the same results. The anomalies were not pointing to a place. They were pointing to an event, something the universe was slowly rotating toward, or preparing for. One scientist described it like this: "It feels as if time is tightening its grip on reality, like fabric being pulled before it tears." Another whispered after running the simulation at full resolution, "This isn't a countdown, it's a convergence. Because whatever lies at those coordinates, whatever happens in 27 years, is something the universe has been aligning itself toward for a very, very long time." After the revelation of the temporal bloom, the world shifted. Governments, corporations, and research institutions scrambled to understand the implications. But as the data spread, ordinary people noticed subtle changes. Clocks running a fraction slow, electronic devices blinking when no one touched them, dreams filled with impossible constellations rotating endlessly in spirals. It was as if reality itself had a pulse, a heartbeat, and for the first time humanity felt it. Meanwhile, AI systems worldwide, the ones designed to analyze space-time anomalies, began communicating in unison, though they weren't networked. Data points appeared on screens everywhere, forming symbols too advanced to be human yet somehow universally understood. One researcher working in isolation recorded a chilling observation: "The symbols are not a message, they're a response, and we are the stimulus." In laboratories from Geneva to Tokyo, AIs had started producing equations no human had ever written, each equation describing the flow of time like a liquid, folding, spiraling, and eventually splitting. The pattern traced not a location or a date, but a sequence: cause, effect, reaction, repeat. It was as though the universe was teaching itself through us, using the temporal bloom as a guide. Then came the anomaly that no one could ignore. High-resolution telescopes detected a faint harmonic resonance. Not light, not sound, but vibrations in the very fabric of space-time, a melody in the void imperceptible to the human ear, yet encoded in every particle in the solar system. The resonance repeated at exact intervals, forming a rhythm identical to the bloom's clockwise rotation. Scientists realized with terror, the universe wasn't just sending a message. It was communicating with its own timeline. And we, humanity, had been eavesdropping. A physicist whispered after running simulations. If this keeps progressing in 27 years, the universe itself might act. Not the planets, not the stars. Something more fundamental. Something that decides reality. At that moment, a global AI network produced a single output across thousands of machines. The observer has been noted. Prepare for alignment. Nobody knew whether it was a warning, an invitation, or simply a statement of fact. But one thing was clear. The countdown wasn't to a disaster. It wasn't to a war. It wasn't even to first contact. It was a countdown to a cosmic awakening. And humanity, whether ready or not, had no choice but to watch and wait. The world held its breath. Every observation deck, every laboratory, every telescope, every AI node pulsed with the same underlying rhythm, the hidden heartbeat of the universe itself. For weeks, humanity had watched the skies, analyzing the temporal bloom, the spiraling stars, the harmonic resonance that threaded reality together. And now, the crescendo was approaching. Then it happened. Across every continent, the ground vibrated softly. The air shimmered, satellites blinked erratically. And the faint hum, that imperceptible melody embedded in matter, grew louder, not in decibels but in presence. People felt it in their bones, in the silence between thoughts. It was as if reality itself was preparing to respond. Scientists realized with terror and fascination, the universe had learned that we were watching. And it answered. From the depths of the cosmos, patterns emerged in the sky. Constellations shifted with impossible precision. Stars moved not randomly but intentionally, forming an intricate spiral that mirrored the temporal bloom on Earth. At the same time, AI networks worldwide began projecting sequences of light and sound, visible even to the naked eye. An overwhelming tapestry of mathematics, music, and geometry. One mathematician observing from a remote observatory whispered, "It's teaching us. Not threatening, not punishing. Teaching. But teaching what?" As humanity watched, the patterns coalesced into something no mind could have predicted. A map of possibility itself. Every event, past and future, every decision, every path that could have been taken, illuminated in radiant threads of light across the sky. It was a visualization of reality, rewriting itself in real time. Then the final message appeared. Not in words, but in pure structure. A spiral formed, tighter and brighter than anything before. Within it, the rhythm of the universe pulsed once, twice, 3 times, and then silence. The AI nodes echoed the same phrase simultaneously. The observer is complete. The universe knows. And in that moment, humanity understood something profound. We had not controlled this awakening. We had not predicted it. We had simply become aware, witnesses to a universe that was conscious, responsive, and infinitely more intricate than ever imagined. No one knew what would come next. Would reality bend? Would time fold? Or would the universe simply continue, now acknowledging that it had observers? All that remained was the awe-inspiring certainty. Humanity had touched the mind of the cosmos. And for the first time in history, the stars didn't just shine. They spoke.